Yeah. What up? This is the Stitch and Sham show. I am one half of the team, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other half, Stitch Early.
And today is episode 40. It's a special episode because today is our United States presidential inauguration.
Inaugural.
A nog with the nog out here. That's what I'm starting to call it. It's got the nog. And so today, now president, former vice president Joe Biden will be sworn in as the head of state, the chief commanding officer, and along with Kamala Harris as the first female, also
Vice
first
president.
black or woman of color as well. Like there's a lot of
it's a lot of like
stuff.
firsts within that joint.
It's a good bit of history. So today's a really special day. I really wanted to start off by talking about the inauguration because of just all the stuff that we've kind of faced as a country
Leading up to this point,
for the last 4 years.
That joint is crazy.
Like it's so crazy to think that like this issue started in 2016.
Yeah, and for as now that it's here, like it always seems that once something is here, it becomes a thing to where you go, man, that really didn't seem as long as it was. But like while you was in it though, it seemed like it was forever. It
felt like it just got more racist as the time span.
Yeah, it like I honestly feel for some like a person like Trump, I think the writing was on the wall, and it was like, I see what this, I see where this is headed, so I might as well just keep going. Keep going, because it ain't no turning back now. So of course, on his as he's headed out. Yeah, we've seen that he has pardoned.
Oh man,
a slew of individuals.
The one that I am, because this is what Donald Trump does. He'll put icing on poop.
Yeah,
and then try to serve it to you as a cupcake.
Yeah, what they say, like put perfume on a bag of crap. Yeah, like it's still a bag of crap.
So he's pardoned all these rappers and stuff, right? And then he slips in Steve Bannon.
Yeah, like I'm gonna throw that.
Whom literally is in prison for fraudulent. I think it's like has something to do with like campaign fund or like the wall. Like remember they were taking funds for the wall, but Steve Bannon wasn't building no wall. They was building they was boats and going on trips and stuff. And it's like,
but he threw it, and it is that thing of throwing it in because it's like. Is all we're focused on is like, yo, he pardoned Lil Wayne, he pardoned Kodak Black. Oh man. So you're not seeing like, you be like everything else. It's like a magician. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna do something over here while I show you my hand.
I don't care nothing about Kodak Black or Lil Wayne being pardoned.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
I don't. I really don't.
I'm not.
It's so concerned. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's those type of things. And it just like for the inauguration to happen today, one, I'm just excited that he's out of office, and I know that sounds. I mean, it can sound bad, or people can take it how they want to.
Nah, it don't sound bad to me.
At this point, I just don't see why he was in there in the first place, and he hasn't really brought anything to the table.
And so like now looking back at it, right? It almost like I think his presidency is the epitome of the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I remember when he first was running, you had a lot of people that were like, man, yeah, we need something different. We need a politician that ain't a politician. And we got that. It like, I think it's always cool. Like we love hearing from Kanye when Kanye is saying what we want him to say. Like we love hearing from people when it's like, oh man, I agree with that. Yeah. Oh yeah, George Bush is racist. I can agree. I can rock with that. But then when Kanye flips and does the same thing and says slavery was a choice, it's like, oh, you done went too far. Yeah, and I think that was the same thing with Trump. Is like he was saying stuff in the beginning that was like, oh man, we ain't never heard nobody talk like that. Oh, that's what's up. Talk that talk. Yeah. And then when that talk started to switch and was like, hey, stand by. Yeah. And stand back. Like when we start hearing that, we like, hold up, that's a little. This ain't what we thought it was. Yeah. And now it's. I made a lot of people like rethink. Maybe it should be politicians that's doing politics.
I believe that Donald Trump's presidency was a direct response to having President Obama in office.
Oh, facts.
It was like America was like, oh, we gonna teach y'all. Y'all thought?
And it backfired.
Oh.
Like it backfired.
Like if you were just to read Donald Trump's resume,
Yeah,
as he's walking out, what happened? Like what he left behind? You'd be like, this man was an alien. He led an alien invasion on America. He killed 400,000 people.
That joint,
not him technically, but you know, what I'm saying?
Yeah, just in the sense of
the negligence of holding that office.
His ability to get people to do stuff without telling them to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that he said that, as far as like, even with what happened a couple weeks ago.
Yes. With the storming of the
there was
Capitol.
nothing that you can kind of see in what he said that would make you go, okay, he said to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But he did say, you know, it's almost like, you know, in the mob, and it's kind of like the you know, they say in movies, you'll see a movie to be like, yeah, take care of that.
Yeah.
You knew that take care of that man. Go, hey, go kill that dude.
I didn't tell you to kill him.
I didn't tell him to kill him. I just told him to go take care of
it.
Like that has a bunch of different meanings.
Exactly.
And he does a good job of, hey, take care of that.
I'm gonna just say it slightly.
I'm gonna say it slightly.
I don't know where
I'm gonna say it enough for you to take it and run with it. But for them to not look at me and them exactly. You know what I mean. Yeah, it's that wink, wink.
Yeah. And the thing, even today, like even though I am happy that we are having, you know, a change in command, I am still kind of, you know, I'm still a little leery about. Yeah. This is the thing, and this is what I keep trying to explain to people, because everyone's had this comment like, "Oh, these are the darkest days the United States has ever seen."
No,
and I was like, no, it wasn't.
It's definitely not.
I was like, there was a time where there was 2 separate water fountains.
Yeah, there was a time where we was slaves. Like, forget even the black and white water fountains. That was better. Then there was a time where it was like, yo, we was in shackles. We wasn't doing no pies. Exactly. We was in the yard.
Like, what you talking about? These are the darkest days.
Nah, no, it's not. Because after you feel how you feel, you gonna go home to your house. Exactly. You're gonna drink from the everybody water fountain. Yep. You're gonna go to the everybody bathroom.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. These are the darkest. These wasn't no darkest days. These days, this is the reckoning of what has taken place for the last 400
if anything, these may be
years.
These may be some of the wokest days. Yeah. If anything. Right. Like if anything, I think in 2020, leading into 2021, it was some of the most times where I've seen other people who may have at one time been like ignorant to the fact of what was going on with black people, finally open up their eyes. Like, you know, in Boys in the Hood, where he's like, either they don't know or they don't show or they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like 2020 was one of those years where you could look at that statement and you could be like, yo, oh, y'all know now.
Yeah, and that was my thing. Like, so when people come to me with this, like, this was the darkest time, I was like, wasn't no dark time.
Nah.
I go home, I live in a single family home, I eat well. And it wasn't dark for me.
No, it wasn't. Like, what were there things happening that we weren't used to seeing on a large scale? Yeah. I was like, but as far as police brutality and things like that, like I've been seeing that since I was a kid.
You ever heard of Rodney King?
That wasn't. None of those things were like new. No. Seeing people beat by cops on video, it's not new.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say that probably was a little dark was the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, like because that's something
that we had never
experienced. We've seen I remember like what the swine flu. Like we saw things Ebola, like that from afar.
Ebola
like
didn't even do what COVID did.
It didn't do what COVID did. COVID like shut us down.
Yeah,
like world. It was like, yo, you can't work, you can't go nowhere, don't go to the grocery store. Nope. You're not going anywhere. If you want to have people at your house, it got to be this many people. Yeah. So I think that to me was more dark than the presidency.
Than the presidency.
Like, nah, we've seen stupid presidents before.
Yes, we definitely have.
We've seen that. It's not the first time.
And a lot of that stuff could have been solved very easily. It's just that the American people have this thing with prestige where they feel like you can't you can't attack the wrong in a person because they hold an office. And I think that's so stupid, because if somebody's not doing something correctly, especially when it comes to leading a country or leading a group of people, like you need to make those adjustments.
And those should be the people who honestly like want to be corrected.
Yeah.
Like, but I think the thing with his administration was anyone who didn't fall in line with his line of thinking, you was out of here. He was going through people. You know what I'm saying?
He was running the country like a bad pastor. That's what he was running the country like. You don't agree with me?
No, facts. Hey,
maybe
get him out of here.
Maybe you should go.
Maybe you should
somewhere
go
else.
to another church. Like, facts. That's a good one.
And it's just,
Yeah.
and even though I think there's going to be significant change as far as leadership is concerned, and running our country and really getting back to politics and keeping our people safe, there's going to be a lot of work because there's a lot of damage to undo.
Yeah.
Foreign policy and foreign relationships
that he damaged.
Yeah, like you gotta.
There's like a lot of stuff that they're gonna be a lot of patchwork.
Yes,
that's gonna have to be done, and I think probably more than any other president too. I think there's gonna be a lot of accountability.
Yeah.
In the sense of just the American people, we saw the promises and we've seen that happen before. We've seen like, oh man, this was promised and then this happened and this was promised.
Every president is
every president does it. Like every president promises stuff and then gets in office. I think in Barack's book, he even talks about how his mindset coming in was like, yo, I'm about to do this. I'm about to tear it up. And then it was like, I can't do that. Because if I do that, that's going to affect this. And then and he's like, man, I became the politician I didn't want to become. And not because I wanted to, but it was just with the job. You know what I'm saying?
It's the spoils of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like,
and I
for
think
instance,
that's the thing.
I could say I'm going to run for president and do a bunch of stuff for black people.
Yeah.
I can say that.
But once
and then
you
I can
get
in there and then be like, if I do that, it's going to do this and do this.
And
so
then you
I
realize that like black people aren't the only people.
Yeah.
So it's like if I do just do everything for them, like there's also a long list of others.
Even though I always tell people, I was like, are we in due for somebody just to lean towards us? Now, this is the thing. Only because Joe has said a couple things that I think I would not be surprised if he leaned our way a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
No, like I'm not sold on either side.
No,
it's like on the fence. Like, all right, if you lean this way, cool. But it just in my head and just how I've seen things go, I feel you're not.
Yeah.
So if you don't, I'm not surprised by it.
No, I'm not.
I'm not gonna be like, if you don't, I'm not gonna be like,
oh, you could have,
man, you could have.
But no,
you know, and I think a lot of people were like that with Obama.
Yeah,
was like, man, you could have. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, he could have, but you know what I'm saying? When you look at all of the other things, and I just think about most of the times, and I could be wrong, in majority of like the sports, like in the sports world and stuff, like things that were mostly white.
Yeah.
And then black people integrated those things. The first were always very likable. Yes. You know what I'm saying? The Jackie Robinsons. Even I was watching something on like Jack Johnson. Yeah. You know, it's very likable, individuals. So then when you get a Muhammad Ali, like, who's like, nah, I'm the greatest. I don't care about none of you white people. Like, no, like I am who I am. Oh, you want me to go to war? Nope. I'm good. Not doing it.
If I'm gonna fight anybody, I'm gonna fight y'all.
Like it. So then when you do get the people that are like that buck against the system and don't go against, it's so with Obama being that first, it kind of, he's likable. Obama was the likable to where anybody coming after that, I think, especially anybody black that's coming after that, kind of now can take a little bit of that off.
I'll tell you, like, for those who have not seen this, it's on Amazon. It's called One Night in Miami. Yeah, I think whatever Obama was facing was kind of that same thing that. So in this story, in One Night in Miami, it stars Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke. Yeah. And what it kind of highlights is their friendship and the communication about how they're supposed to take responsibility as black men in a position of power in America. Yeah. And I feel like Obama kind of, if he had been at that time, he could have been sitting in that room having the same conversation.
Me, Obama, if I had to pick one of them for Obama to me was Sam Cooke.
He was definitely Sam Cooke.
He was Sam Cooke. Like, I understand the responsibility that I have, but I also know that I have to be able to maneuver
this way.
In this way. Whereas Malcolm X was like, no, I'm standing on my square.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
And I think what happened with especially in the dialogue between Sam Cooke and Malcolm X, where Malcolm X was like, man, you ain't made nothing significant. You ain't been doing nothing significant.
When he pulled out the
records.
He
started pulling out the records.
And he played and he was like, man, you got this guy. Yo, he did a whole record talking about our plight.
Yeah.
And you over here making dance records.
But when Sam Cooke explained, he was like, listen, that's cool, but Bob Dylan don't own his master.
Exactly. He's like, I own all my stuff.
I own all my stuff.
Like, I own everything of mine.
He was like, and when Bobby Womack wrote that record for the Rolling Stones, Bobby Womack got a check.
Exactly. And I think so, and that's why like Sam Cooke reminded me of that in the sense of with Obama, it was the thing of like, I'm going to do what I do in office, but I'm also going to make sure that when I'm not in office, I'm still able to maneuver and I have relationships that I can still build with the communities that I need to build with outside of this. Whereas when you have, and I think that's even the difference, like when you look at Malcolm and Martin, where Martin was able to go into certain areas that in the beginning, before Malcolm started to kind of like come around to certain ideas and things like that in the beginning, Malcolm wasn't able to go into because of his stance, not so much how he felt, but how he expressed it.
Yes.
And I think I feel that him and Martin, I feel were a lot alike in certain ways. Yeah. They just chose different ways to go about it.
The only difference between Martin and Malcolm was how they addressed white people.
How they addressed white people. That was it.
Other than that, their philosophies were the same. They were talking about economic growth.
We need equality. Yes, they were talking about all of those same things. Yeah, no, definitely. So I definitely think that when you do become president, it's easy to tell everybody what you're gonna do. Yeah. But then once you actually get there, and you realize it's almost like taking over a basketball team, and the basketball team had some pieces that left, and now you're left with what's left. If you the New York Knicks coach, and everything has been in shambles the last years, and now you come in and they're looking at you to like, yo, you're a basketball player. Like we just hired Michael Jordan to coach the Knicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you should be able to do it.
You're Michael Jordan. And it's like, I got to clean stuff up first. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely get it.
I think the country I believe that it's headed in a better place. I hope that it's headed in a better place. I mean, seeing will be believing at this point.
Yeah. Facts.
Because I think as American people, we're over the like, I'm gonna be hopeful and for a future that I can't really see.
It's like it is that I'll believe it when I see it.
Now we're at like,
and and it's not a thing because I think some people can take that as like pessimistic, or like pessimism. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm against it. It's like, no. There's just certain things that it's like that I'm not. I don't expect. Like when I got married. There were people that I invited to the wedding that I only invited because it was like, all right, Mom, I know you said I should invite this person. In my head, I'm like, they're not coming. Like, you know. So if they don't come, I'm just like, okay, cool. The day goes on. Yeah. If they do come, I'm like, oh,
that's what's up.
Yo, that's what's up. Like,
we can move from there.
And that's exactly how I feel about America right now. It's like, yo, the invite is out there. If they don't come, cool. But if they do, I'm like, oh man, I'm all for it. Like I don't think anybody is sitting in a position where they want it to be worse.
No.
We want it to be better.
We want it to be better.
You know what I'm saying? We want it to be better.
We definitely want it to be better. But again, we've wanted it to be better for a long period of time.
Our expectations are sometimes built off of experience.
As black people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because white people were like, it's always been great.
Exactly.
It's been amazing.
And that's why, like, I don't know if you saw, it was this one, I saw it on IG, and it's this white dude, he got a Make America Great Again hat on, and he has this black kid with him. And I was like, so dude starts talking, and he's like, I hear everybody saying, talking about Trump. He's like, well, look at this. And it's like, why would, like, he's like, this is my son. And so he has this black kid with him. He's like, this is my son. And basically, like, this is my black child. Look at me, the white man with the MAGA hat on, and my black child. And y'all are talking about Trump. This is America. Like, and he's like pointing out the back. He's like, and his son is sitting there. You could tell his son, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he like what?
It's almost like another joint that I had seen. This kid that was colorblind.
Yeah,
and his best friend bought him these colorblind glasses that helps him to see like color. And when he gave him the glasses, like, he lost his mind. Like, there was a red car outside and he's like, yo, it's red. Like, and he loses his mind over something that's so simple that to us, because we can see. Yeah. So I saw that when I saw this like black kid who's being raised by this white MAGA man. Yeah. And I'm like, man, he don't know. He ain't put the shades on yet to see that that's red, and that's
he don't know.
Because he don't, and you could tell he's sitting there. He's just like, yeah,
you ain't gonna fool me.
Like, but I'm like, I don't care. You can bring your 15 black kids to front.
What's that mean?
Don't fool me, not one bit.
I literally had this conversation with my wife last night. I said, people think, and this is how people view things. Mm-hmm. People think that if I tolerate your blackness, that I'm not racist.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yep.
And that's not what that racism is not based upon. That it's, you can tolerate me and hate me.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think it happened. Oh, matter of fact, in the movie. So in the movie, hey, spoiler alerts. Like, and the crazy thing, me and Tanisha are sitting there watching, and I'm like, something's weird about this. Yeah. Because it's this scene where Jim Brown goes to this big house.
I knew it, yes.
And Jim Brown, this white girl opens up the door, and she's like super happy to see him. Mm-hmm. So he walks in the house. He's standing in the foyer of the house. Yes. And then she's like, I'm gonna go get my dad. So dad comes downstairs, he's an older white guy, and he's like, hey, how you doing? So he walks him outside, and they're sitting on the porch. They have this long conversation about just how great Jim Brown is and what he's doing for the community. And I always tell people that, man, this place, I think it was something Island is amazing.
In Georgia.
Yeah, like it's in Georgia. Like, it's amazing because of Jim Brown. He's from here. Yep. And so Jim Brown, so at the end, the dude is like, yeah, I got to go move some furniture. And he walks in the house, and Jim Brown is like, hey, you said you moving furniture. I mean, I could come help you move him. And he was like, he literally says, Jim, we don't allow niggas in the house. So he tolerated him.
Yes.
He tolerates him. He tells everybody, this the hometown of Jim Brown.
He's great.
But yet and still,
you can't be in my house.
You can't be in my house.
You can drink the lemonade.
You can sit with me and drink lemonade on my porch.
But you can't come in my house.
You can't come in this house though.
Because
we don't do that.
That to me is the epitome of racism.
Exactly.
Don't tell me you're not racist because you tolerate my blackness.
Nah, because that's why it's called tolerate. We all tolerate certain things. I don't like pain. But guess what? I'll tolerate it sometimes.
Yeah, especially if it means I save some money.
If I save some bread, you have people that will tolerate pain. That does not mean I hate pain.
Yeah.
How racists feel about black people is how I feel about pain.
Yep.
I do not like it, not one bit.
Nope.
And guess what? The only difference is racism is stupid. Like, pain is actually hurting me.
Yeah, like,
black people ain't did nothing to you. Nothing to you. You just feel that way because you feel that way.
Or whatever experience you've had with one does not mean all are like that.
And I think the wildest thing though is majority. And I would venture to say this. I could be 1,000% wrong. I would venture to say the majority of people that are racist and have racist feelings towards another race probably have not even dealt with enough of that race to even know anything about that race. It's just something that they were either taught or grew up around, and they just took it on.
They took it on.
Just like most people who grow up and it's like, oh, well, I'm Muslim because my family was Muslim. I don't really know nothing about it. I'm Christian because my family Christian. They went to church. I don't really know nothing about it. You know what I mean? So I always attested to some things. Like my aunt was here this weekend and I made eggs. Yeah. And she was like, did you take the eyes out? So see, so how your face looks right now. So my family, from when I was young, when you crack an egg,
the yolk.
You have the yolk. So you have the clear part, you have the yellow part, and then there's that little white part. So my family, I don't know if any other family does this. If any other family does this, let us know.
Yeah, I ain't never did.
Our family calls it the eye. the white part.
Yeah.
So anytime my grandmother made eggs, anytime my mom made eggs, they would take the white part out, like, and throw it away, then scramble the eggs and make the eggs. I used to do that all the time too. Yeah. Like I would take the white part out. I had no clue why I was doing that. You just did. I didn't know if that was an eye. They just called it the eye. I don't know what that white part is. I don't know what it is either. I have no clue what it is. You know what I mean? So I would always take it out. And then when me and my wife got together, she don't take it out. Yeah. Like she would, but then sometimes she wouldn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? So my aunt was like, did you take it? I was like, nah, I ain't take it out this time. I was like, and I said to her, I was like, I don't even know why y'all do that. Like,
does the eggs taste different? I was
like, do the eggs taste different? No, it tastes the same. So if there's anybody else that does that, and like, I think some things we do just off of how we were raised, what we were around. Yep. And we grow up and we just go, I don't know. I have no clue why I do it. Yeah. But I just do it.
Just like Kia's dad thinks that if you touch his foot with a broom, he'll die. And I asked him, I was like, have you ever seen anybody die from
Wait, has he ever been sweeping and just accidentally swept his foot?
I don't know. But I asked him.
He's still alive.
But I asked him, I was like, have you ever seen any broom touch somebody's foot and they die? Yeah. Like,
and he's like, nah.
No, I ain't never seen it. So like, well, why are you in fear of a broom touching your foot? Like,
nah. And I think it's just those things that however you're raised, certain things are, and I think that's the same thing with, like you said, with racism, with things like that. Like with the guy in the movie, it's like, around here, that's not what we do. Yeah. Because it's just, but why don't y'all do it? He probably didn't even have an answer because the daughter, you could tell, probably has been other places. The daughter was like, yeah, come in.
He was like, nah, bro.
Like he probably screamed on his daughter after that. Like, you had this nigga in my house.
Yeah, it's just, and so those are the things that is how I feel about America. Like, Joe can get up and say a bunch of things, and Kamala can get up and say a bunch of things, but don't think because you're tolerating my blackness to get votes or to get notoriety or whatever you're trying to accomplish, that I don't still in the back of my mind think that America 100% does not really rock with us.
Nah, for sure, because they don't. Yeah. We could see that by what happened last Wednesday.
That's it. I mean, simple as that.
Like it's that simple.
It was super. It was like, all right, CNN, y'all see?
Yeah, it was literally.
Then be back here like this.
Yep, and then sit back like, told y'all this is
y'all beat us down, but y'all walked them out in single file line like they was kindergarten.
They walked out with podiums. They had stuff. They was leaving with stuff.
They was like, word, that's what's
up. Mail and all types of stuff.
That is what's up. Yeah, so though I am happy that today is the official inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, America and its debt to its people still has to be met.
Yeah. No.
It still has to be fulfilled. It still has to be, there's some cashing in that needs to happen. And I realized that. But like I said, I'm still open for growth for the country, for our leadership.
And hopeful that
for everybody
that they will do what they like, if not all, some of what they said. Because I know that in 4 years, like
it's gonna be
for as long as the country has been around, there's nobody is gonna come in for a 4-year span and just when they're at the end of their presidency, we look and be like, yo, he just fixed everything.
And Joe,
it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Joe is 87 years old.
Yeah. Oh, he 87?
Yeah.
He 87?
Or is he 78?
It might be 78.
It might be 78.
Yeah, it might be 78.
Still old.
About to say, 78 is old too, but 87?
Yeah.
87 is different.
I thought he looked 87 though. Joe looked like he out of here already, man.
How Joe be acting sometimes. Joe be acting 87. Joe be acting 87. Joe thought his daughter was his wife.
Man.
Joe thought he was like, I'm senator. I was like, no, you're not running for Senate.
Yeah, he used to be vice president.
He's vice president.
Joe be everywhere, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think that drink comes with age though, like forgetting and stuff.
Yeah. So. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for the growth of the country. I think we will get there. But I think first we have to kind of take responsibility for what is already kind of taking place.
Yeah.
And some of those, some of the past things that
have happened. Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Once we can take responsibility for where we are as a country, then I think we can really start changing things. And speaking of responsibility,
I was about to say being hopeful
and being hopeful,
responsibilities.
Finally, after I think about
2 weeks?
Almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2-3 weeks, yeah.
Kyrie Irving has spoken up about, why he's been missing in action. Now there has been some stuff like, I think about 2 years ago, or it might have been a year ago or 2 years ago. Just recently, Jackie McMullen has been fired from ESPN for comments that she said to Kyrie. I guess these recordings must have popped up. Oh, and
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So apparently, she told Kyrie that, you are property. You do. Like they pay you a whole lot of money.
When you look at Jackie, though, Jackie do look
she be looking like, and she's. I think she's from Boston. They say like that's one of the
they say
racist
Boston,
places in the world.
They say Boston a little crazy.
Yeah. So
outside of Benzino.
So initially, I would like to apologize to Kyrie.
Nah, yeah, facts.
Because I am only working off of the craziness that I've seen in the past. But listening to him speak and looking at his temperament and everything that was going on, you could tell that something.
It wasn't just and it also like all of this. It's all perception. Like it's all what we perceive from looking at just how he looked like he didn't even want to do the interview first off. But not because he didn't want to do it. It's just
he didn't want to explain himself.
I don't want to explain myself. I'm a grown man.
Myself.
Exactly. And being a grown man who don't like explaining himself.
Yeah. I totally understand.
It made me fully go, you know what? I understand you 1000%. The only difference between me and you is I have to at times. Yeah. Like there's times I have to. Like I think his explanation to me was more or less for himself, so that y'all stop questioning me about it.
Just leave me
be. Let me tell you what appease y'all real quick.
Yes,
give y'all some pointers, and then I'm out.
Yeah. So
definitely when I watched it, I think it's one of those things that as human beings, we base majority of our things off of experience.
Yes.
And that goes all the way to something as small as like a doctor. Like most doctors, they are considered practicing physicians. You know what I mean? Like, so their work is based off of previous work. Yeah. So if they have had 5 cancer patients with the same type of cancer, and then you come in and those 5 cancer patients didn't survive, their thought may be, man, we had 5 people that was just like that. Your survival rate is this. Yeah. Not because they know. No, but it's based off of what they've seen in their experience. So a lot of times when we deal with just people in the media and people that we see, Kyrie, Kanye, these people, we base a lot of our perceptions of them off of what has happened previously. So with Kyrie, we've seen a lot of the vagueness and the disappearing acts at what they say he is in a locker room and things like that. So then you see, oh man, he's gone. You go, and you start to work. Yeah. You start to try to figure it out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You start to try to figure it. And then when the person comes and it's like, oh man, like you were really actually dealing with something. Yes.
And I think the thing too, like with this situation, whatever Kyrie is dealing with, this is something that feels like it's going to be a little bit more long standing.
Yeah.
Like the way,
because it don't feel like just a personal thing. I think it's societal.
It's a bunch
basketball,
of things.
Like
a bunch
personal.
Of things. And I think because even George Hill said something a couple weeks ago, it might have been a couple days ago. Let me make sure I'm phrasing it correctly. A couple days ago, where he said, if you're going to be fining us for breaking the COVID rules and it's that detrimental, then maybe we shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have a scene because he had said something. George Hill has been saying, since the bubble. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's kind of been like, yo, because I think he said something like, yo, I'm a grown man. Like,
you're not gonna tell me when and where I can be.
When and where I could be. And it's like, so there's 2 sides.
Yeah.
I hear him.
Yeah.
I hear you 1000%.
Yeah.
But like when I go into work, I have to wear a mask.
Yeah. I think his thing is like, you're trying to control me, not even inside of, you're trying to control me outside of the game.
But if the control of you outside of the game is for the game, there's a part of me that understands that.
But that's why he's saying,
in the sense of there, and that's why I say there's two sides. George Hill could very well go, I'm not playing this season.
Yeah.
Like, you have that option.
Well, this is
to
the
say,
thing.
I'm not gonna play.
The NBA owners are basically saying, from what I read, it can become a legal situation.
Like if he chooses not
to play, then
because I'm pretty sure all they can do is affect his money, or if they, especially if George Hill comes to the league and says, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing X, Y, and Z and makes it a COVID-based thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there are parameters legally that he can use to say, well, I'm not, like, even when I went back to work, if I was to say to them, like, because of COVID and me having a young daughter and respiratory issues, I'm not going to, I choose not to participate. Just like last year when, who was it for the Lakers?
Avery
Bradley chose not to. So,
but I think initially the NBA was more lenient towards it. I think whatever is going on now, is based upon TV contracts
and the stuff that they have lined up.
All this stuff that they got lined up.
And I think that's the thing why, like, I see both sides. Like, everything George Hill, I don't think he's wrong in what he's saying. Yeah, like, you are correct. Like, you are a grown man. But if my job is saying, like, yo, in order for you to, we want to cut COVID and things like that, as far as the outbreaks and things that are happening here, man, if you are going to be out, I feel like, for instance, even with Kyrie, if Kyrie was at that birthday party that he was at, or the gathering, and he had a mask on, there's nothing y'all can say. Yeah, I have a mask on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you can do. Everything that the NBA has seemed to say, anytime they saw like the James Harden and stuff like that, it wasn't, oh, you're out. It was, you're out without a mask. Yeah. So we're seeing pictures of you out without a mask. So yes, there is that side that, yes, you're a grown man, but there is also that side of every job has stipulations and things like that and going forward. So, like, I do think that it is a two-way street of, nah, I hear what y'all are saying. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to do my grown man. I'm going to be where I want to be, when I want to be. But I'm going to make sure I'm masked up, because I do see what y'all are saying too. Because if I do go out and now I come back to a game and I end up catching COVID and now I get the whole team infected, who's that on? Is that on the NBA or is that on me?
Well, from what George Hill was saying is that the ownership was asking players to stay home.
Oh, okay. All right. That's different. All right. That's different.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's they're asking them for them to isolate themselves.
Yeah, I don't think you could tell me just to stay at the crib
to be able to play basketball.
Okay, nah. Now that I would be on his side 1,000% on that. Yeah, I don't think you can do that unless it's a bubble. You can't
tell me where to go
unless it's a bubble
situation.
Yes, where you're allowing me to opt in or opt out.
Then that's one thing.
But
if I'm here just playing in the stadium, I'm home.
You can't tell me to go home. You
can't tell me to go home and stay home.
Yeah, nah, you can't do that.
I'm not doing it.
No, you can't.
And I think those are the things that are happening behind the scenes. Yeah. And players, because this is the thing. Like, Charles and them be talking, I'll be like, I wish y'all just be quiet, because y'all wasn't in this position.
Yeah. Nah, y'all never even the players, lockouts and stuff like that. That's not this.
Y'all as players never had power during that period of time. These players have figured it out. They are like, listen, they come to see me. Yeah, they don't come to see y'all.
It's not just the play. It's the star players. It's not the George Hills. It's the LeBrons. Yeah, the KDs, the Kyries. Like, it's the dude.
Was the reason that Giannis that Milwaukee didn't come on that floor.
Yep, because he was like, nah, this happened in our hometown.
We're not doing it. We're not coming out.
And guess what y'all did? Y'all rescheduled the game. You know what I mean?
Simple as that.
Nah, so yeah, so I do, yeah. If it's that, nah, I agree. I think that you also have to realize if you're not doing a bubble situation, then you're not gonna be able to bubble people. No, you're not. No. Like, nobody. If I got to run to the grocery store, I'm not gonna be like, hey, babe, go to the grocery store if I want to go. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. Like, yeah.
And I think those are the things, and I think what we're not seeing in even players have been kind of like hinting towards it, is that, yo, they're treating us like property, and we're tired of that.
Nah, yeah.
Like, before, I think other earlier NBA players were like, for the amount of money that we're making and the fact that we come from impoverished areas and things and situations, maybe I should just do what they're saying because they are giving me millions of dollars. Where our players are like, I don't care where I come from or what I was raised in, and I don't care how much money you're gonna pay me. You're gonna treat me like a human being. You're not gonna treat me
in the thoughts
like
of
an animal.
I think back then players were like the houses.
Yeah.
And now players have become the land.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of
we're the foundation
LeBron
of this
is like,
whole
no,
thing.
I'm the foundation of this whole thing. Now y'all could build the Lakers on me.
Yeah.
Like, cool. But y'all gonna pay me what I want. Y'all gonna pay me. And when I feel like selling the neighborhood, I'm gonna sell the neighborhood. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's so in a sense, the owners are always gonna be at the top because they are the owners. But I think the players have, and I would say that's something that LeBron ushered in is players realizing that like, yo, you need me.
Yeah.
Like you need me. Like if LeBron retires today, he's still gonna have a Nike contract. He's still gonna have a school. He's still gonna have undefeated. I mean, not undefeated. It's the uninterrupted
or something.
It's uninterrupted. It's uninterrupted. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's uninterrupted.
Yeah, uninterrupted.
It's an un.
Yeah, it's an unsigned.
Yeah.
I am a big LeBron fan. I have never watched that.
So I've watched because what's his name? It is uninterrupted.
Maverick Carter.
Maverick be on a lot of them joints.
I've seen some, but I've never like watched a full.
Yeah, Maverick be on some of the joints. But yeah, so it's like KD has a media company. Like a lot of these guys, Steph now has so he's still with Under Armour, but Steph has the Steph Curry shoe is now like Jordan brand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's like it's no longer like Under Armour. It's like how Jordan is with Nike.
Okay.
So now Curry is its own thing now. You know what I mean? So a lot of players are grabbing that ownership part of it.
Most definitely.
Realizing like, yo, the team needs me more than I need the team. You think about certain teams that weren't good. Like you take a team like a person like a Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Who was a highlight reel.
Yes.
No matter what team Vince Carter went to, you know people gonna be in them stands.
Yep.
Whether we great or whether we bad.
Yep.
Why? Because the Sixers wasn't winning championships every year, but guess what? AI was there.
Nobody even cared about Toronto basketball.
No. Nobody cared. Until it was Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter.
And
then it was like, let's go to Canada.
We need to go to Canada and steal five.
Exactly.
Yes. I think like I said, I understand exactly what Kyrie is going through. Because I myself, though I'm not making, millions of dollars or work or, play in the NBA
yet,
just as a regular employee, I have felt days where I've woken up and been like, there's some bull crap and I don't really feel like going through the motions. I wish I could just stay
because of just everything going on.
Yeah, just because of everything, going on. So I definitely can understand. And again, though I'm not close to his situation and I kind of just judge him from, a place of being a fan.
Yeah.
At the time that he was speaking, it made me realize that like, I really got to put my like man hat on and be like, yo, man to man, I feel where you. I understand.
When he was talking, I was like, I get every. Yeah. So do you think that just as human beings, like I don't feel that we do a good job of allowing people to grow. Like, I feel that oftentimes what a person is in front of us at the moment
is what we take.
Yeah. And like, if 5 years from now, a person has had time to go through some things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're like, nah, you the same person though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's because of the things that we've seen.
Yeah. I think not everybody can change. Mm-hmm. I think there's a change mechanism in us all, but not everybody taps into it.
Okay, I feel
that. Because sometimes in order to change, you have to have some self-reflection. Mm-hmm. And some people don't want to self-reflect because their past is full of trauma and a lot of heartache and heartbreak. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people can't even do the self-reflection point to make the change because in order to self-reflect, you have to see all of the things that you've been through and all of your experiences. But do I believe that everybody
or that we allow people to
like how we'll have that moment to
like where we like I always say, like a person who may have knew me when I lived in North Carolina, and then sees like the person I am today,
would be like, oh,
might be
man,
like, oh, that's
understand
totally, I don't get it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I've had
different,
people say that to me, be like, yo, you were like I didn't like you when you were like 13 years old.
Exactly.
But you were like, man, cool now. Like, I'm like, oh, that's what's up.
You know what I mean? But if they were to, and I think that's a person, like allowing a person to be able to, because sometimes I think we hold people to the standard of what we knew them at. And we don't give them, like, I always say, like, my one uncle, it's an uncle that I have, and he was always the uncle that, like, I'm not depending on you for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if you say you coming at 5, I'm going to just go about my day.
Yeah.
Because you're not coming at 5.
Yeah, I don't see you coming at 5.
You know, like, I don't see you coming at 5. You know what I mean? So now as an adult, where, like, that doesn't really matter to me anymore, and I saw him starting to cultivate a relationship with my son.
Yeah.
I felt like I could go one or two ways. I could either tell my son, like, hey,
don't
even, because it's not going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Or I can go, you know what? Maybe he's had time to
Yeah.
reconcile and change some things within himself and let him show and prove.
Well, a lot of times us not allowing people to grow is mainly based upon our own personal comfort. Right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm comfortable knowing that you're this type of person, then I don't have to ask anything of myself to change to deal with you.
Yeah, to deal with you.
You know
I can continue to be me with how you are.
But if you're changing and I feel you changing, then it's going to cause me to be like, well, maybe I need to adjust what I'm doing. And if I don't feel comfortable doing that, then I'll just try to hold you to where you are because it makes me feel, exactly. I don't have to make no change.
Nah, yeah. I feel you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like if, like, I always say this is really like kind of really big in marriage too. Like, you know, a wife or a husband will ask the other spouse to make a change, right? And then the spouse will make a constant effort to change. And instead of us acknowledging the change, we just wait for the moment to where the change is not seen.
Yeah.
So they could go all week doing exactly what you asked them. And then the one time that they don't, you go, see, that's what I was talking about. I was waiting for this.
And it's like,
instead of going, you know what? That's what's up. Like, you only did this one time out of the week. You said or did, or the thing that we discussed that I wanted to see altered or changed. But no, we attack the moment.
We'll attack when what we have experienced actually happens instead of promoting what we haven't seen.
Yes.
Like, it's like, oh man, like mine's be sarcasm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if I could go without it, and not do it and be like, I ain't really, you know, I've been in my chill bag. I've been actually answering questions regular with no sarcasm. Nothing. And then the moment that I be like, I go, oh yeah, the ball is over there. Like it's like, oh, so you just want to be sarcastic? You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I
didn't do it all week.
All week, like I ain't hit you.
That's why I say I think it's tough for us to allow people to grow, and allowing people to grow is never based upon them actually growing. It's based upon the comfort of us seeing someone grow.
No, exactly. Yeah, it is that. It is that because I don't know. I think it's like a trigger in all of us. That is like, especially when it comes to things that we don't like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or things that we can't do. Like even on the last episode, we talked about like, man, I wish I could just like not show up to my job for 2 weeks and then just be like, I'm back. Hey. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so because that's not my situation, when I see somebody else doing it, it's like, understand. So how are you getting to do that? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like a trigger.
It's not about them.
It ain't even about the person.
It's about how it makes me feel. So I'm not letting you grow because when you grow, it makes me feel something.
It's like, yo, why ain't I able to? But then when you see the reasoning, you go, oh, yeah, I probably could hit my job and be like, yo, I ain't really in it right now. I need a little bit of time to da. Yeah. Oh, okay, I understand. I get where you're coming from. And oftentimes I think we don't put the shoe on the other foot, so to speak, to go, man, what could that person be going through? Or why did they react like why did they react like that?
As
or
humans,
yeah, we don't.
Like even because this is something that like I think about all the time. We get so caught up, right? Like we call people selfless whenever they give. Like, right? Like say there's someone and they spent their whole life giving to homeless people, right? And we'd be like, oh, they just so selfless because they always think about the homeless people, when in reality, they doing it because it makes them feel good, not because it makes the other people feel good. Like I'm not giving to the homeless because it makes the homeless feel good. I'm giving to the homeless because it makes me feel good.
And so like I always hate the videos that I don't really like is like
video givers.
Yeah.
Like when they be like, and yo, I'm about to take him shopping, son. He was on the street with no clothes.
And I'd be like, do you think he want everybody to know he ain't got no clothes on?
Like,
you know what I mean? So it's like, because I've seen probably all of the aspects of it. I've seen people who give. Yeah. They don't want nobody to know they give. Yeah. Like you look at like with Hove, like when we found out like that Hove like paid for like 21 Savage's lawyers and like paid all of Wayne's taxes. I've never heard him rap about that. No. I've never heard him say anything about
Wayne's taxes.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, oh, okay.
So it's like, I've never heard any of that. So you have some people that I think give just because they can. Like I know if I had the finances and the funds to, I would definitely be the person that's like, because I'll say it to my wife sometimes, like, yo, I always be seeing Youngin, he work at the grocery store. I always be seeing him like walk, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could just give him a car, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I see me working, I be seeing, like, you know what I mean? So just stuff like that I wouldn't want to broadcast it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think you have people that do that. And then I do think you have people that are like, yo, like I think I heard Charlamagne say, he was like, he gave some HBCU, I think he gave them like $250,000. Yeah. And then he was like, I would have done something different if I knew the tax write-off was going to be. So it's like, he gave out of his heart, but he also gave because it's like, it's a business move. It's a business move too. Yeah.
Like, and the reason why I say, because even for myself, like, as time is like kind of going on, I'm getting more involved in community stuff and stuff that I would have just done like for no notoriety at all. There's things that I have to think about now, like especially with the new position as the team coordinator with the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. Like I'm trying to take the program to somewhere, and the only way to do that is to highlight the program. To highlight it, And the only way to highlight the program is to put myself in front of a camera or a news reporter or things like that. Yeah. Now these are things that I would have done regardless without any notoriety, but sometimes
that is needed. And I think that's to me, that's different. Yeah. To me, like there are certain things that in order to get a platform out there, or in order to get, when we do these shows, in order to get it out there, I have to post it. I have to, go check out the Stitch and Sham show. Make sure y'all go, because I know that those things are going to put us in a different space to be able to do things that we want to do. You know what I mean?
Like for me, I would rather not be in the spotlight. Yeah. And for those who even follow me on any social media platform, you'll see that I don't post anything. Maybe I might go
once in a while.
I might go on a rant one day and post like
you
five things.
Like every once in a while you might post a few things.
Yeah, but it's not something I regularly do. I really don't even sit on like social media. Like I'll go on Facebook sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'll go on if sports talk. I love talking about sports. Yeah. I don't really be on Instagram. I'm just not a big picture person. Yeah. Like I don't want to be taking a whole bunch of 1,000 pictures and posting them. Yeah, and like I do like take selfies, but those are like when I be like
majority of them joints is like with
I was like I want to change my profile pic, and I want something dope when I change my profile pic. Like I don't tend to want to be in the forefront at all.
Nah, facts.
But of late I've had to
because of what you have to do with work. It's like you don't have a choice to, because in order for that position to move forward, it's kind of like I have to showcase it. And the only way to showcase it sometimes is to stand in front of, I think we're both alike in that, in the sense of like, I could chill. Yeah. No problem. But I also understand that in order to move things ahead, like UHRISE and Icon and, things like that, it has to be put out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And somebody has to see it to go, oh, yo, I rock with that. I
Yes.
tune into y'all every week. You
Yeah.
know, so like when I run into people and they're like, yo, I watched the podcast.
what's up?
Or people who then like I posted a clip last week.
Yeah.
That we talked about, and it was like mad people that hit.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, yo, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh y'all got a podcast? When
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There was people that didn't even know that. So it's like, man, if I didn't post that, there's like 5 or 6 people
that
who
wouldn't have known,
went over and knew about this. You know what I mean?
So that's why I said it. So it's a for someone like Kyrie, right? Who, you really don't see much from him outside of basketball.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
I think the biggest thing you saw from Kyrie, but I think that was more or less because he was in a relationship. Like him and Kaylani were in a relationship.
But even that was kind of like
and so you knew more of that because of her probably more or less than him.
Than Kyrie.
But you don't really see much from him. Like I think he posted like twice, and I was surprised. I was like, oh snap, he posted. Like,
so those things, like when you talk about perception, like, you know, people's eyes from an outside place, it's kind of hard to make a judgment when you're not in it.
Nah, for sure. Yeah.
Like I can say what I think Lorenzo is or what he might do or those things like that, but I can't say for sure.
Nah, exactly.
Like I can have, like, if someone comes like, oh, what do you think about Lorenzo? I could tell them like my experience. You can say your experience,
friend. Whereas somebody else might be like,
no,
I can't stand him. He get on my nerves. Like,
he was mad sarcastic every time I said something. I'd be like now. But see, you would be like, oh yeah, that's just him.
So, and it's even like what I text you the other day. So the other day, Sham hit me. He was like, yo, I ain't really feeling too good, a little under the weather. Yeah. Not COVID, just a little under the weather. Just a little under the weather. Throw that.
Actually, I had a sinus infection.
Just to throw. He said it. I wasn't gonna say it, but he said what it was. Infection. So he texted me. He was like, yo, you think we can move the show to a day this week? Yeah. So like my text back to him was, nah. I was like, nah, son, you got to push through that.
Yeah.
So I knew because we have a relationship, I knew me sending that to him. I already knew what his response was going to be.
Yes.
His response wasn't even a text message. He called me.
And just bust out laughing.
And he called me and just bust out laughing because he read the text in the voice that I wrote the text in.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? But it's because we know each other. Yes. Whereas if I sent that to somebody else,
they would probably be like,
they might be like, oh, this dude is a jerk. Yeah. Like he don't even care that I'm in this joint hurting. Like he just told me to push through.
Exactly.
You know,
and
so
you would have had to call to clarify
and be like, hey, nah, that was just a joke.
Yeah.
It was just, you know what I'm saying? Like, so perception, like I said, a lot of it is based on experience. A lot of it is based on relationship. Yep. Like there's some stuff that I can joke with him about that I would never tell y'all. I would never say it on this platform. I'm never going
to say that ever to anybody.
No person needs to hear this but him.
Exactly.
Why? Because he gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and that's why I say when we talk about those two things of perception and growth, allowing someone to grow, a lot of times we don't because it means that we're going to have to either sacrifice something of ours or our feeling about how we feel about you
or we have to grow. Because I think sometimes us as people, we don't like to grow.
No.
Because majority of times to grow, that means things are going to change.
Yes.
Like when your body grows, you can't wear a 2T forever.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
you got to change
it. You got to purchase new clothes. Yeah. And most people don't want to purchase new clothes. Nope. You don't want to change your wardrobe. You don't. Yeah. So it's like you have to continue to grow. And especially when it comes to people, you have to be able to grow with people. So like Sham knowing that like though we're both like, yo, we could chill. We don't really need to be in front of the camera. I don't mind it. It's like, all right, cool. We got to do what we got to do to get it out there. Me knowing that he's more like, nah, it's like we know how to find that medium to where it's like, okay, yo, if we do it this way, then it meets both joints. So we can do it like that. And because of the relationship, we're both able to grow with each other. And I can get a message from him that says, yo, I ain't feeling too good. I'm under the weather. And I can go, oh, no, that's cool. Like, we'll just pick another day. Like, and we'll do it that day. Yeah. Opposed to, oh, man, I done set time aside and da-da. And it's like, yeah, those are things that are true. Yeah. But, like, are we growing together? If we're growing together, then we're able to do that. And I think, sometimes we don't want to see the growth in others because that means that I got to do something. I got to do something. Because, man, he don't feel that way no more. I even think about, like, we knew somebody that was in a situation in a relationship, and when their relationship went through what it went through, I remember we were like, nah, like it's my man. It's like, nah, da da da. And then as we grew, it was like you ain't even mad about that joint no more. Why I'm mad? Like what I'm mad for?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Like so, it's one of those things to where you have to just learn to, as an individual, as a human, just continue to grow mentally. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually and just in your mindset. I think those are the biggest things, you know what I mean? To where those things have to continue to be renewed, because none of us are going to be, we may have the same foundations, but we change on a day-to-day, year-to-year basis.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important for us to, you know, continuously reach for people who may not be where we are. That's why I think sometimes you gotta look at your, like you said, you gotta look at your friend group. You gotta look at a whole, you know, a whole bunch of things.
Because that joint can
because you could find yourself being stagnant.
Yeah,
because you're not accepting the growth of other people. Like if someone comes to you and you know they got bad credit and they like, I want to buy a house, and you're like, how you gonna buy a house with bad credit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of that person going to someone and be like, look, there's ways for you to fix your credit.
Yep. If you do X, Y, and Z, yo, did you know if you did this?
Those seeds get planted in your head, and you're like, well, yeah, you're right. I ain't never gonna be able to get in a house with no bad credit.
So I got to do, but he said if I do this, this, and this, that'll help me to fix my credit.
That's two different conversations.
It's two totally different conversations.
And being around those two different people could really sidetrack your life in certain ways. So
I think if people can just try to find a positive.
Yes.
Like negatives is always going to be there. I was at the grocery store yesterday. I picked up a gallon of milk. Yeah. So like the dude that was working, he was stocking. And he was like, he must have saw me looking for the half a gallon. Yeah. And he goes, he's like, oh, we don't have no more half a gallons. And I grabbed it. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. He was like, yeah, sorry for that. I was like, nah, I ain't got to make 2 trips now. Yeah. And he was like, man, if you could bottle that up. He was like, if you could bottle that up, man, that's a great way to think. I was like,
yep.
Yeah, I ain't mad. Like,
now I got to buy a second half a gallon.
I just get the whole gallon right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just certain things are just perspective and how you choose. I think sometimes we can choose to look at things a certain way. And so it's like even seeing the Kyrie thing, like, yes, I could have chose to be like, you know what, he might be going through something.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear all that Kyrie. I don't want to hear that Kyrie.
But we be like, man, I don't want to hear all that, man. You should be playing basketball, man. I'm trying to see how you play with Harden out here. Like,
keep dribbling.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we don't take it like, man, if I was that way, I don't want somebody to be like, nah, you better go sit in that class with them kids.
Exactly.
Like, nah, I want to be able to have my time to reflect and be able to get through what I'm getting through.
And I think that's just comes with maturing, experiencing life and understanding that, man, if I'm experiencing life, I know that somebody else is definitely experiencing life. For sure. And, you know, while we're talking about growth, again, as you can see, we got some new digs. We're trying to do some different things here with the Stitch and Sham show and with the Rise Media. Yep. And you guys are essential to our growth.
The university.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? The university. So if you can, go to patreon.com/arise. Join, because, again, we need you guys. You guys are essential to us, you know, getting better and bringing stronger and you know, more
content.
I would say more relatable content.
Definitely relatable
because
content.
I think when you have
Random
funding, when you have funding from not from a more commercial standpoint, like, you know, when people are just, you know, giving to you and allowing you to do your own thing, you can make more relatable,
stuff that we know like our audience wants to see and things.
And we don't gotta do all of the
we gotta just do the we about to do the Busset challenge.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not doing that. So please go to patreon.com/arise. Also go to arisemusic.com. You know, support what we're trying to do here. We got the website coming, we got merch coming. I know we say this.
At the bottom of the screen on this episode, you will see the Cash App.
Yes.
At the bottom of the screen want to donate. On this episode. If you want to donate, and like we said, that stuff is going to be going towards equipment, merch, things of that nature that we want to get to y'all. We've already designed it out.
Yeah, everything is
and now
already
we're just
set.
getting everything processed to start to roll out to y'all.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a great 2021 for us, and we're really excited about it, and we hope that you guys are excited about it. And this is the end of the episode. This has been episode 40. I am Sham Phoenix.
I'm Stitch Early,
and this is the Stitch and Sham show. It was all of S's.
It was a Stitch.
And this is the Stitch and Sham show. Peace. We'll see y'all next time.